I don't know about you, but I love to shop. And shopping means I generally use a credit card. I do pay it off at the end of every month, but it is what it is. Credit cards are important to understand how they work. And so today we will calculate the average daily balance of a credit card. So credit card companies use the average daily balance to calculate the amount of interest due. The interest we often will call the finance charge. This finance charge is based on the balance a customer carries each day of a billing cycle. This assumes you did not pay it off at the end of every month. If you pay your balance off in full at the end of each month, you will not pay a finance charge. If you carry a balance, this is where finance charges come in. So here we go. Using the table below, find the average daily balance of the credit card for October 1st through 31st billing period. Round to the nearest cent. Now, you'll notice that October has 31 days in it, and we have to figure out what's happening. So you can see on day one, we have a balance of $3,600. That's kind of our carryover balance. And how many days do we have that balance? Okay, so that's our first thing, is we need to figure out the number of days for each balance. Well, we went from day 1 to day 7, so that means there are 6 days at this first rate. Okay, then from 7 to 12. So that's 5 days at the second rate. Let's just put these in parentheses here. Then the next one, 12 to 19. So that's 7 days at this third rate. 19 to 28 is 9. And then you're thinking, well, now what? Well, from 28th through the 31st. Now, that's the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. That's 4 days. Always double check. If I add up the numbers that I just wrote down, I should get 31. 6, 11, 18, 27, 31. Okay, that checks. So now I know if I had 6 days, okay, so 31, think about finding the average, right? So average, we take the total sum and divide by the how many numbers we have, right? So we need to find the total sum of the balances. So think this through. If it's 6 days, each one of the first 6 days, it was 3,600. So we can say, well, if I was at 3,600 for 6 days, I'm going to multiply those together to figure out the total for those 6 days. Then for the next 5 days, and I'm not going to go back and forth each time, but for the next 5 days, we're at 2,400. So that's 2,400 times 5. And then for 7 days, I was at 3,050. I was at 3,175 for 9 days, and I was at 4,125 for 4 days. Okay, so that's my numerator, all divided by 31 days. Okay, now you can do this a couple different ways. If you plug this all into your calculator at one time, just make sure that you put parentheses around that whole thing in the numerator. Or you might want to just do the multiplication separately and say, if I multiply these, I get 21,600, 12,000 when I multiply the next group, 21,350, 28,575, and 16,500. Again, all over 31. Now I need to add my numerator. So when I add those all together, I get a value of 100,025. And we're going to divide that by 31 days. Because again, we're trying to find the average over the 31 days. So now I divide. 100,025 divided by 31 yields 3,226.612903, and it goes on forever. Remember, we're talking about money. When you talk about money, you round to the nearest cent, and I think our directions even said that, round to the nearest cent. Nearest cent is the second decimal place. I look at the 2 tells me to round down. So my final answer is $3,226.61. That is my average daily balance for the month of October.